my university has recently signed up to the Gypsy Roma Traveller, Showmen and Boaters in Higher Education Pledge. The pledge was developed to encourage and support universities to take steps to help students from those communities into and within higher education.
Hi, my name's Tia Chipperfield. I am a showman traveller and I go to the Institute of Contemporary Theatre in Brighton and I study acting for the 21st century. I think the pledge is a good way to encourage students and children, all ages actually, not just children, to come to university, to allow them to come to university and feel like uni is a place where you can be accepted. It will be just easier to understand university, because when we were younger, like even when I was really young, I thought that university was never going to be a place for me. That like education, I could never go into education because I had to be a showman. Not just because like it's because of my family business, but that's what society made me think that I should be doing, and schools. So I think having the pledge and encouraging people to go to uni would completely change that and show them that it's not scary. Everyone belongs at university, and if you're doing something that you love, it's going to be all right. Oh, I'm going to be an actor. It's not an if, it's a when. 100%, yeah. Just an entertainer. I just love entertaining, and it's in my blood, because beyond the fun fair, that's just what I've always done, and I've been good at it. So getting paid for it, it's all weird. One thing that worried me was explaining my life to people, because you never know what the reaction's going to be, whether people are like, oh yeah, we had them down like where I live or whatever, and we had like travellers where I lived and this is what we think of them, you know. And people aren't like, what's the word when like they don't hold back their opinions on a lot of travellers, and explaining that I'm not a traveller what you think a traveller is. I'm a showman. It's a completely different thing. It's the fun fair, and it's such a small world. The showman like community is so small and tight knit that branching out of it, I thought, oh my God, like I've never moved away from home. So moving away from home, I was like obviously like nervous and scared. I was excited obviously because it's new and I wanted to do it. It's what I've wanted to do my whole life. But I really was like, I just don't know how people would react to me. But it was all okay in the end. I think so, 100%. I think the fact that that the uni have even thought about the pledge, because I didn't really know anything about it before coming here, and realising, oh, I should be recognised, my culture should be recognised, I should be out there, because no one knows about. No one thinks, people go to the fun fair, but no one thinks about the people that put it on and what their lives are like. So yeah, doing the pledge and like coming here, it was so welcoming, because it was like, oh, you're different, and that's a good thing. And yeah, in like school, that never was like a thing. Yeah, I definitely would, because you can, for me, in my opinion, I think you can always go back to the fun fair. It's always going to be there. Your family's always going to be there for you in most circumstances. But it just opens up so many other routes. And I know that my mum and my sisters regret not going to school. They wish they had stayed on like me and went to uni and did something else, because it just opens up so many avenues. You can be anything you want then. You don't just have to be one thing like what we're all told, like when we were kids, you know. When I was younger, a lot younger, I never had like a specific, like I didn't just want to do acting like I am now. I wanted to act, sing, dance, like do like magic tricks, like everything, because when we'd be open on the fair, like that was what I was surrounded by, the entertainment, like when you like shout out at the customers and like do the rapport, like everything. That's what I just had growing up. And like you couldn't be shy. You couldn't, because you had to work, you had to interact, and like that's how you get money. So yeah, I just knew. And then when I stayed in school, I thought this is how you can do it, because I'm getting taught. So I had to stay in school, and I did say to my mum, I said, I don't want to leave. I want to carry on. And like I was like, what would you say if I went to university? And my mum was like, well, I wouldn't want you to leave, but of course you can do whatever you want. They always knew that I was going to do something different, because I'm the youngest of two, and both of my sisters left school. My older sister left school in year 9, and my middle sister left school in year 8. So they always encouraged me to just carry on. Like you can leave if you want. Because I remember having a conversation with my mum about like leaving school. Like she was like, because like, you know, Misha and Charlotte, my sisters, they left and these ages, and you're getting to that age. Do you want to stay on or do you not? And I was like, yeah, 100% I do, because I'm learning. You can learn from everything, but it's just easier when it's like right in front of you and you're at a place where you're meant to learn, you know? And I think being from a showman background as well, it just helps so much, because you have that knowledge and then you're getting so much more. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I just thought, I've got to carry on. And then I was like, I want to entertain, and the only thing that I can think of doing is acting, and I was good at it. So yeah, I just carried it on. So when we was in the showman site where I live, there's a village that's just down the road from us, and there's a primary school there where all the showman kids went. So they already had showman kids and people there. So my sisters went there. So from like the get-go, basically, I was not really treated differently in primary school, but I knew that I was different, like personally, because I didn't speak the same. And then I had to posh it up a bit. Like I had to change my voice to fit in, the slang words we use. I couldn't use them because no one knew what I was talking about. So I was just like talking to a wall, because no one knew what I was saying. But yeah, so I don't my schools taught me. My schools treated me the same as everyone else, but I knew that I was different. But in secondary school, that's another school where like all the showmen went there as well, because it's all like near us. So as soon as like new showmen came, like all through the years, like everyone knew, because we'd all had to like sit together. We all had to like congregate together, because we've all been friends. Like you're obviously going to sit and like be with people that you've known your whole life, because it's so tight knit. And I remember there was an assembly that the school did, and it was in my year. There was 4 showmen, but like it kept getting less and less like through the years, because like no one wanted to go to school. And there was an assembly where the teacher was like, I know they don't have running water, but they are the same as us. And then me and my friend looked at each other, were like, what is she talking about? Where's this come from? And then we had to go to them and say, it's prejudice. And she went, no, it's not. And then we were like, it really is. So just going from the point before, going to uni and me being an actor and getting out there in the world and like spreading the word that like we're here, basically, is really, really important to me. And it wouldn't be without this pledge.
Hi, my name's Yinka. I am the Access, Participation and Outreach Coordinator here at IC Theatre. Well, my role basically means that I am here to make sure that this is a really inclusive environment for everyone. I deal with 5 groups of people and students, and under that remit is also students of different ethnicities. So, you know, the travelling community is an ethnicity of its own. And then I read about the pledge and I thought, ooh, we can do that, because I'm all about inclusion, equality and diversity. So I was like, well, we should do that. So it was just a matter of having a talk with the principal, because you don't have to do much. You know, sign the pledge, you don't have to do much. You just need to let people be aware that this is that you're a welcoming institution that will welcome everybody. And, you know, the principal was happy to sign it, was happy to do a short video on it. I'm happy to put up, not signage, but I'm happy to put up flyers every June to celebrate GTRSB History Month, you know. And I just thought it was really important it's important for each institution in higher education to sign the pledge, because there are so many universities around the UK. So imagine if every university had signed that pledge, every traveller who passes by and sees will know that they'll be welcome there. Well, because we have a student here who is from the travelling community, it's been so pleasurable, I suppose is the word, to just witness this young woman come here and be fully immersed in the university life, you know, and have friends that she supports, that supports her. It's just so nice to just see everyone getting on, regardless of, you know, faith, religion, sex, gender, whatever. You know, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, aren't we? So it's just nice to see everyone come together as human beings, and it's been really nice to see her come in and just be part of the whole student environment. Another good thing about the pledge, I think, is once people know about it, other students that might not have self-identified as part of the travelling community will be like, oh, I didn't know Institute of Contemporary Theatre was so welcoming to everybody. I didn't know, and I didn't know that there were other travellers here either. So part of my vision was that other students might obviously see that we had somebody from the community here, and see the signages that we put up every June, and might then just self-declare and say, actually, I am from the community, without being afraid that there was going to be any stigma attached to them. And that is what I'm hoping the pledge will do, will allow young people to come and study, like everybody should have that freedom to do that without having a stigma attached to who they are. I will get angry though if I keep talking about this, because it's like the simplest thing in the world, I feel, you know? I think members of the travelling community could use the pledge. It would inform them, really, so they'd know that if where their child was going, that it would be a safe environment for them. I feel then the parents would then, yeah, they'd feel better knowing that their child's going somewhere that has signed the pledge. They'll know there's going to be no bullying, no harassment, no stigma, none of the stuff that has happened in the past to a lot of travelling communities.
Hi, my name is Shelby Holmes and I'm the Outreach Officer for New College, one of the colleges that make up the University of Oxford. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pledge. So the GTRSB Into Higher Education Pledge is a really exciting initiative. It's really a statement that universities and schools can make to say, look, we're open to everybody, especially people from this community. And as someone who is a showman, who grew up working on the fairground, who grew up travelling, whose parents had fairground equipment and was very much involved in that lifestyle, and as someone who experienced discrimination on the basis of that, it would have meant the world to me for any university to say, we're open and we're interested in hearing from you and we're going to support you if you come to our university. It would have made a massive difference. So I have a very high opinion of the pledge. I think it's a wonderful idea. I really, really do. I think in terms of what it might change for students from these communities, from these travelling communities, I think it might change the attitudes. I really hope that it would change attitudes to university, as opposed to the current feeling where it doesn't always feel like a viable option. It doesn't always feel like it's something that's normal for us to do. So I'm hoping that it will open everything up a little bit more. I'd love to see the pledge signed by every university in the UK. I think that would be absolutely amazing, and it would send a brilliant message. So yeah, as many universities as possible, that would be fantastic, because it would really show, you know, we're interested, we're listening, we're open, and we want these kinds of students here. We hear a lot about diversity, we hear a lot about equality and inclusion, and it would mean the world for universities to really stand up for that and really say, no, we mean it. We really are going to take this seriously. I think it would be fantastic if we can get schools on board as well. Obviously, I'm speaking as someone who works at university, but it would be wonderful for schools to get involved as well, because then we can create these channels for people where they feel like, oh, well, I went to a school that signed the pledge and that was a really positive experience, so actually I'm now interested in going to a university that signed the pledge as well, so hopefully I can expect the same level of treatment, the same kind of welcome from this institution as I did from my previous institution. So I think that would absolutely mean the world. I think it would create, or in some scenarios, revitalize a culture that recognizes these different communities. So it would be great if these institutions, these schools, these universities can recognize certain things. For example, it can be as simple as a university comms team going, oh, by the way, it's Roma Holocaust Memorial Day, it's Deacon Vista, it's World Funfair Month in September. These things really acknowledge that, hey, we recognize you as a real community, as a real culture. So that would be fantastic. So not just changing attitudes in our communities, our traveling communities, but also changing attitudes in these institutions as well. That would be fantastic. It really, really would.